Hello everyone, today we're going to be teaching you RecRoom MakerPen basics. Anyways, we're going to go through every single category you see here, from create to all the way to delete, okay? So let's get into the video, and also, there is a little skip bar in the description so you can skip to which other category you want to. Anyways, let's get into the video. Starting off with create. Create is where you want to go to your palette, and then shapes, and then you can change it to anything you want, from tube to all the way to diamond. So I'm going to go with cube. Then going to go back to tools, and you're going to go to create, and you can create the little cube, as you can see. Place down the cube, and it'll turn your screen all gray, and you'll go into editing mode. This is where your items cannot be separated. Like, if you keep building other cubes around, and you click done on your MakerPen, as you can see, when you go to move, they all move at the same time. It's because you're in editing mode. Alright, next up on our list, we have select. What select does is you could select an object, and then you can go on your MakerPen and see the 3 different options it has. You can copy the object, copy, and you want to click paste to recent. And it will automatically put your recent creation on your MakerPen. You could spawn it again. The exact same size and the exact same width and height. Next up on our list, we have connect. It's basically the same thing as wire. So I have a legacy trigger volume right here, and I have a holotar. And if you don't want the holotar to play whenever you go near it, what you could do is you can wire when entering zone to the green play on the holotar, and now as you can see, it'll stop playing. Now the trigger volume's right here. Once I put my hand in it, the holotar should play. Next up on our list, we have configure. Now what configure does is you can get a button or anything you want, and you click on it, and then automatically it'll show up on your MakerPen. You could do anything with this. You can make it grabbable, you can freeze it, and you can make it climbable. I just made it climbable, but it does not work on buttons. Alright, I'm gonna try something else. Let's try freezing it through our MakerPen without using the freeze button. We'll get to that later. Now, it'll automatically freeze itself. Can't pick it up, but you can pick it up if you make it grabbable. Here, let's make it grabbable. Let's find it. There it is. It can't because you have froze it, but if you do unfreeze it, you will be able to grab it. So let's test it out. Alright, there we go. I finally got it. And now, you should be able to grab the button and press it. It won't work because I'm grabbing it, but let's move to the next one. Next up, we have transform. Now what transform does is if you want to click it while you have hovered over transform, you can make it bigger or smaller, but it only will work effectively if you have it on grid. Alright, now make it on surface, or make it smooth, make it smoother, easier to do. You can move it around, but, yeah. Bigger, smaller, bigger, smaller, bigger, smaller, you know. And you can make it smaller than even scaling it or manipulating it. Move. As you can see, I have a black cube here, and if you want to press it on move, you can move it any direction that you want. But here's the thing, if you do not want to move it in a certain direction, then you can always press it and move it anywheres. If I want it on the table, just put it right there on the table. But if you want to move it a certain direction and not being able to move it another direction, you can always click the arrows or the little cubes, squares on the cube. So yeah, it only moves in that direction, alright? I can't move it left or right, I only can move it this way. I said that wrong, but who cares? But if you want to click the cube, it'll show up a massive grid wall if you have your MakerPen on grid, and you can move it anywhere on that wall. It will not move any other direction besides this wall. You can put it right there, too. Yep. Next up, we have rotate. Now what rotating does is basically rotating any object that you create, or any invention that you spawn in. What you want to do is you want to press the object. This is a bunch of tubes, and you have a bunch of different circular lines, and if you press perhaps the green one, it'll rotate it in that direction, shows you. If you press the red one, see how the red one's going up and around? If you go upside down, or if you want to click the white one, you can move it in a horizontal direction. It's kind of weird. And also, there's the blue one, which is the opposite of the green one. I mean, the red one, yep. Next up, we have cloning. Now, it sounds what it is. You want to press anything you want, and you can clone. Make more things of the same thing. I have 1 water ball, now I have 2. Now I have 3. Now I have 4, and now I have 5. Alright, there's 5 water bottles, and there used to be 1. And they're all grabbable, do the same function, but it will increase the ink in your room. The ink is how much storage you can have in your room. Next up, we have recoloring. Now, recoloring is, what you want to do is you want to go to your palette, then you're going to go to, I can't read that, swatches? Yeah, swatches. And you can change the material to like dirt and the color to like a yellow, and you can make the button in front of me a dirty yellow button, which looks ugly, looks like pee. But it's also really effective if you mess up something, like if you spawn in a cube and you realize it's not the right color you want it to be. Instead of making a whole different cube with a different color, you can just recolor it. Next up on our list, we have freeze. Now, freezing is if something is grabbable while you're holding a MakerPen. See how I'm holding my MakerPen and I can grab it, I can move it around. But if you click freeze, it'll say object frozen, and now I'm not able to pick it up. It'll keep saying MakerPen object is frozen. And this also make it so you cannot do anything with it. It says error object is frozen. If you want to try cloning it, object is frozen. If you want to try scaling it, object is frozen. This basically locks it in place. You cannot do anything with it unless you unfreeze it. Go back to frozen, and now it says object unfrozen. Now I should be able to scale it. Make it bigger and smaller. And yeah. Up next, we have Make Invention. Now you want to go on Make Invention, and this little thing should pop up on your screen. Select the objects you want to be part of your invention. I spawned in a little yellow cube here. I selected it, and then you click Next, and then it'll give you a random name. And then you want to click Next. Would you like to save your invention with a room anchor? This means when you spawn in your invention through your watch, it'll automatically spawn in the same area that you spawned it in. So if I spawn this cube right here, and I made an invention and I spawned it again, it will spawn exactly in this place. You want to click yes, and it'll give you your camera. You want to take a picture of it. Save it. Now it'll say creating on your screen for a few seconds. Just give it a moment. After it's done saving, what you could do is you can name it, give it a description, and give it some tags. But if you want to get through it all quickly, then you can not do any of that and just click publish, and it will upload this little tiny cube to the public to buy. But you can only put a price tag on it if you have RecRoom Plus, sadly. So you are not able to earn any tokens if you do not have RecRoom Plus to make an invention. Up next on our MakerPen, we have Manipulate. So I have a little yellow sphere right here. Click the sphere and it'll show up as these few different little cubes around the sphere. Now, if you click the one above the sphere, it'll make it higher in height. Now it looks like a yellow turd. I guess you could say that. If you want to make it a length, you want to click the one on this side. If you want to do it the other way, you can do it on that side. But if you want to make the width bigger, you want to just click this. And now we have an even bigger cube. It's basically the slower version of scaling because there's no little middle thing if you scale in, little gray little thing. but you can make it look like a potato if you want to. Now I have a nice huggable potato. The very last one on our list is delete. Now what delete does, all it does is get rid of things you do not want. So I have a bunch of yellow diamonds here, and you can delete each one. Now I only have 2. I used to have like 7, now I have 2. But I can just delete this one and only have 1. Basically, delete is to help you fix mistakes, or you want to click the undo button and it'll automatically start respawning all of the keys only deleted back. Pretty neat.